10. The literal Kabbalah is referred to in several places, and therefore a knowledge of its leading principles is necessary. It is divided into three parts: Gematria, Notarikon, and Tamura. 11. Gematria is a metathesis of the Greek word, and it is there displayed. It is based on the relative numerical values of words, as the author has before remarked. Words of similar numerical values are considered to be explanatory of each other, and this theory is also extended to phrases. Thus, the letter Shin is 300 and is equivalent to the number obtained by adding up the numerical values of the letters of the words RVCH, Al-Him, Ruach Elohim, the spirit of the Elohim, and it is therefore a symbol of the spirit of the Elohim. For R equals 200, V equals 6, CH equals 8, A equals 1, L equals 30, H equals 5, I equals 10, M equals 40, total 300. Similarly, the words ACHD, Achad, unity, 1, and AHBH, Ahibah, love, each equals 13. For A equals 1, Ch equals 8, D equals 4, total 13. And A equals 1, H equals 5, B equals 2, H equals 5, the total equals 13. Again, the name of the angel MWTRVN, Metatron or Mithraton, and the name of the deity Shaddai, or Shaddai, each make 314, so the one is taken as symbolic of the other. The angel Metatron is said to have been the conductor of the children of Israel through the wilderness, of whom God says, "My name is in him." With regard to gematria phrases, Genesis 49:10, Eba Shiloh, or Yeba Shiloh, Shiloh shall come, 358, which is the enumeration of the word Mshich, Messiah or Mashiach. Thus also the passage Genesis 18 verse 2, VHNH, SHLSHH, Vahina Shalisha, and lo, 3 men equals a numerical value, ALV, Michael, Gabriel, Vipal, Elo, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. These are Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. For each phrase equals 701. The author thought that these instances would suffice to make clear the nature of gematria, especially as many others will be found in the course of the ensuing work of this particular book. 12. Notarikon is derived from the Latin word notarius, a shorthand writer. Of Notarikon there are two forms. In the first, every letter of a word is taken for the initial or abbreviation of another word, so that from the letters of a word a sentence may be formed. Thus every letter of the word Bereshith, the first word in Genesis, is made the initial of a word, and we obtain Bereshith Ra'ahim Shik Israel, THVRH, or Bishrashith Rahi Elohim Shia Kibelo Israel Torah. In the beginning, the Elohim saw that Israel would accept the law. In this connection, the author gives 6 very interesting specimens of Notarikon formed from the same word Brashith by Solomon Meir ben Moses, a Jewish Kabbalist who embraced the Christian faith in 1655 and took the name of Prosper Rugier. These have all a Christian tendency, and by their means Prosper converted another Jew who had previously been bitterly opposed to Christianity. The first is BNRVCH, a B SHLVSHTHMID THMIM supposedly in Hebrew, Ben, Ruach, Ab, Shaloshithim, Yichad, Themim, the Son, the Spirit, the Father, their Trinity, perfect unity. So there's the triunity there. The second is BNRVCH, ABLVSHTHM, which is probably in the Hebrew, Ben Ruach Ab Shaloshithim Yichad Thabodo. The Son, the Spirit, the Father, ye shall equally worship their Trinity. So it's telling you in the Kabbalah that you should honour them as the Trinity, the Triune. Worship them as those three of that triunity, or that Trinity. The third is BKVRI, Rashi, Rini, Esha, Shimuv, Ishvot. We're just going through it roughly. It probably means Bakori, Rashuni, Esha, Shamo, Yeshua, Thalbodo. Ye shall worship my firstborn, my first whose name is Jesus. Okay, so that's telling you in the Kabbalah, you should worship my firstborn, my son, Jesus. So he's mentioned in the Kabbalah. It's unlikely that some other person called Jesus. Okay, so nobody has an excuse to say, oh no, that's another Jewish guy. He came along and his name was Jesus. It's not him. Okay, here it says the firstborn, God's firstborn. Okay, he which is like him is begotten son. He's not actually born, he's uncreated creator. It's just the way we put it in English, or it's put into English. The fourth is BBVA ABN Eshe Shimuv Ishvo Thobvidv, or Bebor Rabban Eshe Shamo Yeshua Thalbado, when the Master shall come whose name is Jesus. Okay, so he was prophesied to come through this Kabbalah. They identified him, whose name is Jesus, ye shall worship. The fifth, and it's a long list of letters there, which translates as Bethula, Ravia, Abacha, Shithaled, Yeshua, Thrash Ro'ah. I will choose a virgin worthy to bring forth Jesus, and ye shall call her blessed, i.e. that's the Virgin Mary, right? Or Mary. The sixth is Bogoth, Ratzefim, Asata, Shigopi, Yeshua, Thakilo. I will hide myself in cake, baked with coals, for ye shall eat Jesus, my body. So it's probably metaphorically or allegorically. It's not actually literal. It's like he's represented in that communion biscuit or cake or wafer, right? Okay. Something probably in the lines with that scripture, that you should partake of me, of the bread and the blood, all that sort of stuff. Okay, because if you don't, etc., etc. The Kabbalistical importance of these sentences as bearing upon the doctrines of Christianity can hardly be overrated. 13. The second form of notarikon is the exact reverse of the first. By this, the initials or finals of both or the medials of a sentence are taken to form a word or words. Thus, the Kabbalah is called, it's got there, CHKMHNSTHRH, Chokhmah Nisra, the secret of wisdom. And if we take the initials of these two words, Ch, CH, and N, we form by the second kind of notarikon the word Chin, or Chen, which means grace. Similarly, from the initials and finals of the words M-I-I-L-H, etc., etc., Me, I-L, La, Lino, Ha, Shamayima, who shall go up for us to heaven. It's asking the question, who shall go up for us to heaven? Deuteronomy 30:12 are formed M-I-L-H, Milah, circumcision, and I-H-V-H, the tetragrammaton, implying that God hath ordained circumcision as the way to heaven. Okay, but that's in the Old Testament. Later on in the New Testament, it's a different kind of circumcision of the spirit, of the heart, of the mind. Okay. 14. Temura is permutation. According to certain rules, one letter is substituted for another letter preceding or following it in the alphabet, and thus from one word another word of totally different orthography may be formed. Thus the alphabet is bent exactly in half, in the middle, and one half is put over the other, and then by changing alternately the first letter or the first two letters at the beginning of the second line, 22 commutations are produced. These are called the table of the combinations of TZIRVP, or Tzirupf. For example's sake, the author gives the method called Albith, ALBTH, or Albath. Thus, and he shows a whole lot of letters here, a whole lot of numbers here, and how they relate, how these letters relate to these numbers. Each method takes its name from the first two pairs composing it, the system of pairs of letters being the groundwork of the whole, as either letter in a pair is substituted for the other letter. Thus, by Albath, from RVCH, Ruach is formed, DTZO, Ditzal. The names of the other 21 methods are, it's got some letters here, ABGTH, AGDTH, and so forth. To these must be added the modes ABGD and ALBM. Then comes the rational table of Ziruf, another set of 21 combinations. There are also three tables of the commutations known respectively as the right, the adverse, and the irregular. To make any of these, a square containing 484 squares should be made and the letters written in. For the right table, write the alphabet across the right from right to left. In the second row of squares do the same, but begin with B and end with A. In the third, begin with G and with B, and so on. For the adverse table, write the alphabet from right to left backwards, beginning with TH and ending with A. In the second row, begin with SH or SH and end with TH, and so forth. The irregular table would take too long to describe. Besides all these, there is the method called THSHRQ, Thashrak, spelt like that, like this, because originally they didn't have vowels. Okay, so this Thashrak, which is simply writing a word backwards. There is one more very important form called the Kabbalah of the Nine Chambers, or AIBKR, Ike Bekar. It is thus formed, and then he gives a demonstration here. The author has put the numeration of each letter above to show the affinity between the letters in each chamber. Sometimes this is used as a cipher by taking the portions of the figure to show the letters they contain, putting 1 point for the first letter, 2 for the second, and so on. Thus, the right angle containing AIQ will answer for the letter Q if it have 3 dots or points within it. Again, a square will answer for H, N, or K final, according to whether it has 1, 2, or 3 points respectively placed within it. So with all regards, also with regard to the other letters, but there are many other ways of employing the Kabbalah, and it goes on and on and on. Okay. It's quite interesting, but it could be quite confusing for a viewer who's new to this. It's pretty confusing to us. 2 plus 5 equal 837, which equals by Gematria THTHZL Tatzal, the profuse giver. Thus, by writing the M final instead of that ordinary character, the word is made to be a different Kabbalistic meaning. 18. In Deuteronomy 6:4 and so on, is the prayer known as the Shema Yisrael. It begins, and it has it written there without the vowels, Shema Yisrael Tetragrammaton Elohino Tetragrammaton Achad, or Akkad. Hear, O Israel, Tetragrammaton, your God, is Tetragrammaton unity. In this verse, the terminal letter O in Shmo and the D in Akkad are written much larger than the other letters of the text. The Kabbalistic symbology contained in this circumstance is thus explained. The letter O, being of the value of 70, shows that the law may be explained in 70 different ways. And the D, which equals 4, which equals the 4 cardinal points and the letters of the holy name. The first word, Shmo, has the numerical value of 14, the number of years and the duration of the first temple, and so forth and so forth. There are many other points worthy of consideration in this prayer, but time will not permit the author here to dwell on them. 19. Other examples of deficient and redundant spelling, peculiarities of accent and pointing, and so forth, will be found in various places in the ensuing work of this book. 20. It is to be further noted with regard to the first word in the Bible, Bereshith, that the first three letters, B-R-A, are the initial letters of the names of the three persons of the Trinity, or the Triune Godhead, right? B-N, Ben, the Son, R-V-C-H, Ruach, the Spirit, and Ab, or A-B, Ab, the Father. God the Father, right? Furthermore, the first letter of the Bible is B, which is the initial letter of B-R-K-H, Beracha, blessing, and not A, which is that of A-R-A, or Ara, cursing. Again, the letters of Bereshith, taking their numerical powers, express the number of years between the creation and the birth of Christ, as God incarnate. Thus, B equals 2000, R equals 200, A has a footnote indicated there, we're not too sure if it's that one. See note to the numerical values on the table of the Hebrew alphabet, etc. on plate 1. Plate 1. 1000, A equals 1000, SH equals 300, 1 equals 10, and Th, or TH equals 400, total 3910. Years, being the time in round numbers. Picas de Mirandola gives the following working out of Bereshith, or Bereshith, by joining the third letter A to the first B. Ab, Father is obtained. If to the first letter B, doubled the second letter R, be added, it makes BBR, or Beba, in, or through the Son. If all letters be read except the first, it makes Rashith, the beginning. If with the fourth letter, Sh, the first B and the last Th, be connected, it makes Shebeth, the end or rest. Was that like a Sabbath? Is that another word for Sabbath? If the first three letters be taken, they make B-R-A, Bera, created. If omitting the first, the three following be taken, they make Rash, or Rush, head. If omitting the two first, the next two be taken, they give Ash, fire. If the fourth and last be joined, they give Sheth, or Sheth, foundation. Again, if the second letter be put before the first, it makes RB, Rab, great. If after the third be placed the fifth and fourth, it gives Aish, man, or Ish, man, Aish. If the two first be joined, the two last, they give Berith, covenant. And if the first be added to the last, it gives THB, or Theb, which is sometimes used for TVB, Thob, or good, which equals good. 21. Taking the whole of these mystical anagrams in proper order, Picas makes the following sentence out of this one word, Brashith. Pater in filio, aut per filium, principium et finem, sive quietum. That's a little Latin there. Through the Son hath the Father created the head. Through the Son hath the Father created that head, which is the beginning and the end. So he's the chief. He's the heir. H-E-I-R. Chief. Firstborn. Okay? But in the sense, not created, but, begotten Son. Okay? Because he is uncreated. He's the uncreated creator. Quite a hard one to get your head around. Through the Son hath the Father created that head which is the beginning and the end. He's the Aleph and the Tau, the Alpha and Omega. The fire, life, and the foundation of the supernal man, the Adam Kadmon. By his righteous covenant, which is a short epitome of the teachings of the Book of Concealed Mystery. This notice of the literal Kabbalah has already extended beyond its proper limits. It was, however, necessary to be thus explicit, as much of the metaphysical reasoning of the ensuing work turns on its application. 22. The term unwritten Kabbalah is applied to certain knowledge which is never entrusted to writing but communicated orally, and the author may say no more on this point, not even whether he himself have or has not received it. Of course, till the time of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, none of the Kabbalah was ever written. It's all done orally. 23. The dogmatic Kabbalah contains the doctrinal portion. There are a large number of treatises of various dates and merits which go to make up the written Kabbalah, but they may be reduced to 4 heads. Looks like A, the Sefer Yetzirah and its dependencies. I'm not too sure what that letter is. It's probably a B. When we used a voice application, it said 8, so we're not really sure. We think maybe it looks like a B. The Zohar with its development and commentaries. It looks like a Y. The Sefer Sephiroth and its expansions. And that one there, which looks like an S, we're not too sure what that is actually. The Ashk Metzaref and its symbolism. 24. The Sprit small z IRH, or Sefer Yetzirah, or Book of Formation, is ascribed to the patriarch Abraham. It treats of the cosmogony, as symbolized by the 10 numbers and the 22 letters of the alphabet, which it calls the 32 paths. On these latter, Rabbi Abraham ben Dior has written a mystical commentary. The term path is used throughout the Kabbalah to signify a hieroglyphical idea, or rather the sphere of ideas, which may be attached to any glyph or symbol. 25. The ZHR, Zohar, or Splendor, besides many other treatises of less note, contains the following most important books, of which the 3 first are translated in this volume. The Sifra Dizeniotha, or Book of Concealed Mystery, which is the root and foundation of the Zohar. The Idra Rabba Kadisha, or Greater Holy Assembly. This is a development of the Book of Concealed Mystery. And Idra Zuta Kadisha, or Lesser Holy Assembly, which is in the nature of a supplement to the Idra Rabba. These 3 books treat of the gradual development of the creative deity, and with him the creation. The text of these works has been annotated by Knorr von Rosenroth, the author of the Kabbala Denudata, from the Mantuan, Cremonesian and Lubinesian codices, which are corrected printed copies of these. The Mantuan and the Cremonesian are the oldest. A species of commentary is also given, which is distinguished from the actual text by being written within parentheses. The numerical treatise called Beth Elohim, or Beth Elohim, or the House of the Elohim, edited by Rabbi Abraham Kohen Irira from the doctrines of Rabbi Yitzchak Roria. It treats of angels, demons, elemental spirits, and souls. And the Book of the Revolutions of Souls is a peculiar and discursive treatise and is an expansion of Rabbi Laria's ideas. The Sefer Sephiroth, or Book of the Emanations, describes, so to speak, the gradual evolution of the deity from negative into positive existence. The Ashmetzaref, or Purifying Fire, is hermetic and alchemical and is known to few, and when known is understood by still fewer. The principal doctrines of the Kabbalah are designed to solve the following problems: the Supreme Being, his nature and attributes, the cosmogony, the creation of angels and man, the destiny of man and angels, the nature of the soul, the nature of angels, demons and elementals, the import of the revealed law, the transcendental symbolism of numerals, the peculiar mysteries contained in the Hebrew letters, the equilibrium of contraries. The Book of Concealed Mystery opens with these words: the Book of Concealed Mystery is the book of the equilibrium of balance. Equilibrium is that harmony which results from the analogy of contraries. It is the dead centre where the opposition of opposing forces, being equal in strength, rest succeeds motion. It is a central point. And he goes on about that book. Okay, it gets down to, yet if we think deeply we shall see that such must be the primal forms of the unknowable and nameless one, whom we, in the more manifest form, speak of as God. He is the Absolute. But how define the Absolute? Even as we define it, it slips from our grasp, for it ceases when defined to be the Absolute. Shall we then say that the negative, the limitless, the absolute are, logically speaking, absurd, since they are ideas which our reason cannot define? No. For could we define them, we should make them, so to speak, contained by our reason, and therefore not superior to it. For a subject to be capable of definition is to requisite that certain limits shall be assignable to it. How then can we limit the illimitable? Is that a word like the unlimited? Unable to be limited? Or unlimitless? 31. The first principle and axiom of the Kabbalah is the name of the deity, translated into our version of the Bible, I am that I am. And it's got in the side notes here, Genesis 3:14. The first principle and axiom of the Kabbalah is the name of the deity, translated in our version of the Bible, I am that I am. It's got here, a different wording to the Tab Esherat Lishana Articus prayer, which is translated into the nearest English equivalent by the native-born Aramaic-speaking translator Victor in Alexander, this Old Testament, which basically said Hiya, Asher, Hiya. Different spelling of Asher though. So a lot of Jews out there that come at us and saying, oh, this is the grandson of Jacob or the son of Jacob. No. This is the way it's written. Okay, this is you have the Asherite or the Assyrian name of God, which is Asher, A-S-H-U-R, or Asher in the Greek, because they don't have the S-H or sh sound. Okay? And a better translation is existence is existence, or I am he who is. In the Aramaic footnotes, it says is. 32. Eliphaz Levi Zahed, that great philosopher and Kabbalist of the present century, says in his Histoire de la Magie book, 1 chapter 1, the Kabbalists have a horror of everything that resembles idolatry. They, however, ascribe the human form to God, but it is a purely hieroglyphical figure. They consider God as the intelligent, living, and loving infinite. An interesting thing here with this Asher Hiye is that he tells Moses, because Moses says, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the house of Israel, or the Israelites, right? And they're going to say, oh, yeah, because God said to me, tell them that you talk to me, that Ahiya sent you, right? So he says, oh, okay, so God, they're going to ask me, okay, if I talk to God, what was his name? Yeah? Maybe they try to catch him up, chop him up, right? But maybe they're just normal and ask him, well, okay, what was his name? We're interested, we want to know what his name is. So God said to Moses, you tell those people that Asher Hiye sent you. Yeah? And that will be his name forever, to the end of time, specifically for them, as he did with them and their Sabbath, their circumcision rite, etc. Okay? So they're bound to it for all time. Okay? So for them, it's not nailed to the cross by Christ or anything like that. It's a covenant between them, the house of Israel or the Israelites, the Jews, etc., that they have to honour to the end of time. So you can't tell them, well, you don't have to do it anymore because you're a Christian. They have to, because as we said in the scriptures, they're bound by a covenant. Okay? God has declared to them, to their forefathers, that's what they'll call him, and they'll have their Sabbaths and their circumcision rites to the end of time. Okay, so these people consider, Kabbalists, they consider God as the intelligent, living, and loving infinite one. He is for them neither the collection of other beings, nor the abstraction of existence, nor a philosophically definable being. He is in all, distinct from all, and greater than all. His very name is ineffable, and yet this name only expresses a human ideal of his divinity. What God is in himself, it is not given to man to know. God is the absolute of faith. Existence is the absolute of reason. Existence exists by itself, and because it exists. The reason of the existence is existence itself. We may ask, why does any particular thing exist? That is, why does such or such a thing exist? But we cannot ask without its being absurd to do so. Why does existence exist? For this would be to suppose existence prior to existence. Again, the same author says in Book 3, Chapter 2, to say, I will believe when the truth of the dogma shall be scientifically proved to me is the same as to say, I will believe when I have nothing more to believe, and when the dogma shall be destroyed as dogma by becoming a scientific theorem. Did you hear around that one? That is to say, in other words, I will only admit the infinite when it shall have been explained, determined, circumscribed, and defined for my benefit in one word, when it has become finite. I will then believe in the infinite when I am sure that the infinite does not exist. I will believe in the vastness of the ocean when I shall have seen it put into bottles. But when a thing has been clearly proved and made comprehensible to you, you will no longer believe it. You will know it. It's the difference. It's nice to have faith. It's nice to believe this and that, but you need to know it. I know it exists. I know God exists, etc., etc. Who heck said that way back? I think it was that Ray Higgins. 33. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, it's a Hindu holy book, it is said, I am immortality and also death, and I, O Arjuna, am that which is and that which is not. And there's a footnote indicated there. And it says down the bottom, or which exists negatively. And again, chapter 9, and O descendants of Bharata, see wonders and numbers unseen before. Within my body, O Gudakisa, see today the whole universe, including everything movable and immovable, all in one. And again, Arjuna said, O infinite Lord of the gods, O thou who pervadest the universe, thou art the indestructible, that which is not, and what is beyond them. Thou art the primal God, the ancient one. Thou art the highest support of this universe. By thee is this universe pervaded, O thou of the infinite forms. Thou art of infinite power, of unmeasured glory. Thou pervadest all, and therefore thou art all. 34. The idea of negative existence can then exist as an idea, but it will not be a definition, since the idea of definition is utterly incompatible with its nature. But some of the author's readers will perhaps say, your term negative existence is surely a misnomer. The state you describe would be better expressed by the title of negative subsistence. Not so, the author answers. For negative subsistence can never be anything but negative subsistence. It cannot vary, it cannot develop, for negative subsistence is literally and truly no thing. Therefore, negative subsistence cannot be at all. It never has existed, it never does exist, it never will exist. But negative existence bears, hidden in itself, positive life, for in the limitless depths of the abyss of its negativity lies hidden the power of standing forth from itself, the power of projecting the scintilla of the thought into the utter, the power of re-involving the syntagma into the inner. Thus, shrouded and veiled is the absorbed intensity in the centerless whirl of the vastness of expansion. Therefore, the author has employed the term exto rather than substo. 35. But between two ideas so different as those of negative and positive existence, a certain nexus or connecting link is required, and hence we arrive at the form which is called potential existence, which, while more nearly approaching positive existence, will still scarcely admit of clear definition. It is existence in its possible form. For example, in a seed, the tree which may spring from it is hidden. It is in a condition of potential existence. Is there, but it will not admit of definition. How much less then will those seed which that tree in its turn may yield? But these latter are in a condition which, while it is somewhat analogous to potential existence, is in hardly so advanced a stage. That is, they are negatively existent. 36. But on the other hand, positive existence is always capable of definition. It is dynamic. It has certain evident powers, and it is therefore the antithesis of negative existence, and still more so of a negative subsistence. And it goes on, Okay, just a lot more. Okay, down to 40. goes on 42. This is still the introduction. Goes into great detail. Goes through several numbers and explanations. There's quite a lot there. And it goes into the Sephiroth, also called the world of emanations, or the absoluthic world, or archetypal world, etc., etc. What's this? Microprosopus, the king of the Kabbalistic Sephirotic greatest trinity, and the Son in his human incarnation in the Christian acceptation of the Trinity. Therefore, as the Son reveals the Father, so does IHVH, or Jehovah, reveals AHIH, Ehaya. 66. And ADNI, or Adonai, is the queen by whom alone Tetragrammaton can be grasped, whose exaltation into Bina is found in the Christian assumption of the Virgin. 67. The Tetragrammaton IHVH, or Jehovah, is referred to the Sephiroth. Thus, the uppermost point of the letter Yod, I, is said to refer to Kether, the letter I itself to Chokmah, the father of Microprosopus, the letter H, or the supernatural He, to Bina, the supernal mother, the letter V, to the next 6 Sephiroth, etc., etc. And the 4 secret names. And it looks like this is the end of the introduction. Oh, no, it's still going. There's all these analogies, etc. here. Plates showing the formation of the soul. From Cliff Cliff's Mysteries by Eliphaz Levi Zahid. Quad superius, quad inferior, so that's the higher and the lower. The Book of Concealed Mystery, Chapter 1. Interesting. There's a lot of information there. Okay, this is supposed to be the Kabbalah corrected, according to the author. Wow, a lot of detail. The beard of truth. There is now followeth a description of the beard of Macropros and its 13 parts, which are more fully described in the Idra Rabbah. The beard is the influx which descends from the first Sephira through all the others and so forth. Okay, it comes down to in the cranium or skull, Golgotha, in Golgotha. In the New Testament, it's worthy of note that Jesus Christ the Son is said to be crucified at Golgotha, the skull, while here in the Kabbalah Microprosopos, the Son, as the Tetragrammaton, is said to be extended in the form of a cross thus, or as follows. In Golgotha the skull, the text above says at the end of section 33 of Macroprosopos, and he also thinks this is a misprint of Microprosopos. Pretty mystical stuff. Wouldn't be easy to get your head around it. You have to study it and try to fully understand it. Maybe ask somebody that's into the Kabbalah, the Zohar, etc. What the hell does all this mean, man? Explain it. Book of Concealed Mystery. Goes quite deep. So, within this Kabbalah book, etc., the Christ, the Son of God, who is God, etc., is actually mentioned. Possibly because that one Jew converted that other Jew to Christianity. Maybe that's why. But this author says it's coming. He's corrected the original Kabbalah, so this person this Jew that became a Christian that then convinced this other Christian who converted this other one was like really anti it, couldn't stand it. He realised somewhere along the way all of this, and through it he understood, or he realised that Jesus was within its writings as part of a triunity, or the triune, or the Trinity. That's what it looks like here. So then that would be one Jewish holy writ or holy book that acknowledges the Christ. We don't know about the Kabbalists that are actually following the Kabbalah. If they're like, no. with the yeah, okay, we're into that. We agree with that because it's written there. Yeah, that's right. We're not too sure on that one. Very, very interesting. Chapter 3, concerning the Ancient One or Macroprosopus, and concerning his parts, and especially concerning his skull. And it goes on about the brain. Further concerning the skull of Macroprosopus. Concerning the membrane of the brain of Macroprosopus. Here. Forehead, the eyes, every part of the human body, right? Probably in relation to this Macroprosopus, description of what he looks like and what these parts are, etc., etc. Here it's got Daniel 7:18, the hair of his head like pure wool. What's this? Also is written Daniel 7:18, the hair of his head like pure wool. There is no contradiction here, for the one is said of the supernal beard, but the other of the inferior beard, and there's a footnote indicated there. The hair and beard of Macroprosopus is distinct from that of Microprosopus. So there's a difference there. See the Book of Concealed Mystery, chapter 3:16.